Electricity. Here, there, everywhere. Dependable energy that brings light to our homes, keeps our food fresh, runs our air conditioners and other appliances that make our lives easier and more comfortable. Most of us rarely ever think about how much electrical energy there is available, or how much it costs. The only reminder we have of the source of our energy is that once a month, this envelope arrives. And even though there's lots of information on the bill, we generally skip right to the bottom line, send in our check, and go right on consuming energy to our heart's content. This video will show that it is possible for you to control the amount of energy used by some of the electrical appliances in your household and save money.
Really? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Hey, I didn't know that.
Today, even though the cost of electricity is still one of the best bargains around, more and more consumers are becoming interested in how they use electricity and the costs involved. That's why we made this videotape for you. The exhibits here at the Conservation Center will provide valuable tips for the efficient operation of the three biggest users of electricity: air conditioners, lights, and refrigerators. And at the end of this program, there'll be an appliance purchasing guide for referral the next time you're in the market to replace or purchase a new unit. You see, the more you know about how your household appliances work and how they use energy, the more money you'll save on your electric bill.
Oh, look, there's the air conditioning exhibit.
Most people are bursting with questions and usually surprised at the answers. For instance, do they know that of all the household appliances we use, the air conditioner can use the most electricity?
I didn't know that.
See what I mean?
Honey, how many air conditioners do we have?
I don't know about you folks, but we've got 4 of them.
Big ones.
Uh-oh.
And old ones.
Uh-oh.
Show me where it tells you how to save.
That's my cue.
Look, I don't care what they cost as long as I'm comfortable.
Oh, let's not go overboard.
Hi. It looks like you folks could use some help.
Oh, definitely.
Well, I'm here to help you.
Can you help us save money?
We have 3. Air conditioners, that is. What can we do?
Well, it's true that an air conditioner can be the biggest user of electricity, but it's not necessarily based on how many units you have in the house. Actually, 1 unit, 2, 3, whatever. The good news is that your air conditioner is the one major home appliance that you could save the most money on.
Right.
Provided, that is, you know what they're all about.
All about? What do you mean?
Well, most people think that all there is to know about an air conditioner is that you install it, you plug it in, and turn it on.
Isn't that how it's supposed to work?
No, not really. There's a lot more to efficient air conditioning than that. There are a lot of important things to know about operating and maintaining an air conditioner.
Like what? I'll bet it's complicated.
Not at all. For example, one factor is the size of the room.
Room? Only one room? Isn't an air conditioner supposed to cool more than one room?
Yeah, we bought ours with lots of extra power, so to do a better job at cooling the entire house.
Right.
No?
No. Just because a unit is big and powerful doesn't mean it was meant to cool more than one room.
Wait. Are you saying that an air conditioner that's too big for a room is just as ineffective as one that's too small?
Air conditioners are built with different cooling capacities to handle different sized rooms. 1 unit for 1 room.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know either.
You see, an oversized unit will lower the temperature in a room very quickly, and it will shut itself off as soon as the room reaches the desired temperature.
That sounds good to me.
Ah, but when a unit shuts itself off that quickly, it doesn't have a chance to remove the humidity from the room.
So you're saying the room may be cool, but maybe not comfortable.
Now that you mention it, I haven't felt that comfortable in our apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cold enough, but it's clammy.
Definitely.
And if the unit is too small, it'll probably run constantly trying to cool the room, but never get the job done, right?
Right. Either way, you're not getting what you really want.
Comfort.
I mean, in other words, 1 unit to 1 room, and the right size unit for that room.
Right, but there's more to it than that. All right, here's an important tip. Proper home insulation is a key factor in achieving energy efficiency.
You mean like weather stripping or caulking our windows and doors?
That's right. And it'll help you save on heating bills in winter, too. Here's another tip. Is an air conditioner going to work adequately in a room that's filled with direct sunlight?
Windows open or closed?
Closed. And close the drapes and blinds to block out those burning rays. This will keep your unit from running overtime to keep up with the extra heat from direct sunlight.
That makes sense.
Yes, I didn't know that.
Question. What is the best temperature setting for a unit to achieve the best economy of operation?
Good question.
That is a good question. And it's one of the areas where some of the biggest savings can be achieved. If you were out in the park on a bright, clear 78-degree day, you'd probably say, boy, isn't this a beautiful day, and you'd be perfectly comfortable, right?
Sure.
Then there's no reason for it to be any cooler in a room. Many people set their air conditioners to work at temperatures far lower than what they would be perfectly comfortable with outdoors.
Well, that may be true, but there's nothing like the thrill of coming in from the heat to a lovely, cool room.
That's fine if you don't mind the thrill of a lovely high electric bill, too. I agree. It's great to come out of the heat into a lovely, cool room. But once your body is accustomed to the change, you'll be just as comfortable in a 78-degree room as in a 75-degree room. To some people, 75 degrees is chilly and much more expensive.
I don't know. I've got to think about that one.
Right. Do that. And try it, too. Put a thermometer in a sample room and check it both ways.
You bet we will.
All right. Try this one. How do you use your air conditioners?
What do you mean?
Well, on all day and night, on timers that turn on before you get home in the evening.
Oh, well, I suffer in the heat. You know, it's worth anything to me to have the house cool in the summertime.
Whether you're home or not.
Well, yes.
So, for a good portion of the day, only the empty house is comfortable.
Not us. We don't waste it. We're on timers.
Okay, good. Do your timers turn on just before you get home in the evening?
Well, not quite. We like to walk into a nice, cool apartment.
Yes, so we set them to go on about 2 hours before, so it's cool when we get home.
Well, that cost you about 1.5 hours of cold cash. Most air conditioners need only a half an hour to cool a room.
I didn't know that.
Well, we do now.
Hey, check this out. You really can feel the difference between a clean filter and a dirty filter.
Right. Filters are inexpensive and easy to clean and replace, but a dirty clogged filter is very expensive to keep. It'll restrict the unit's airflow. Feel for yourself.
Okay. Wow, it does make a difference. I always forget the filters on mine.
That makes two of us.
Oh, that makes thousands of us. The fact is that changing them couldn't be easier. Check your owner's manual for instructions. Most filters you can wash and shake dry, others you just replace. Clean the filter at the beginning of the summer and at least once a month for the rest of the season.
I guess the trick is to remember to do it. Right, darling?
All right, are we ready for some more energy-saving tips? How about cooking?
What, don't eat on hot days?
Not quite. On hot days, try to plan meals that don't require cooking, like salads and other cold dishes. And try to put off chores that produce heat or moisture until cooler times of the day. For example, run the washer and dryer in the evening. Even showering could be put off until after sundown or early morning.
Those are good ideas.
Now, this one may be obvious, but you'd be surprised at how many people commit this error in the name of household decorating.
Blocking the airflow of the air conditioner with furniture or drapes or something, right? See?
Look, sometimes you can't help it. I mean, it's important that a room looks good.
Even if it defeats the unit's effectiveness and wastes money. So, what's the lesson here?
With a few simple steps, we can save money.
Right. Right on the money, that is.
There is more to operating an air conditioner than just sticking it in the window and plugging it in.
You can say that again.
I think they got the point, but it's worth reviewing. Of all the major household appliances, your air conditioner offers the best opportunity to cut energy costs, all without costing you one bit of cooling comfort. Right now, I'd better catch up with the group. Come on, join us.
Hey, get a load of this gadget.
What is this thing? Generate 100 watts.
Oh, I'm getting
Whoa, are you going to be able to do that?
It's not easy.
85, 95. All right.
Yeah, all right.
Right.
You did it.
Whoa, that's
That really was tough.
That's why I let you make my point.
You mean how much power it takes to run a 100-watt bulb?
Imagine if I had to work that hard just to keep the lights on our
Okay, light is electrical energy at work. We can see it. Now, the first consideration for any of us is to be comfortable in the light we live in, either at work or at home. The problem is we overuse and abuse our lighting.
and that abuses our pocket.
The old bottom line again.
Well, the fact is, there's many ways to cut back electrical consumption without losing perceptible light.
Like turning off the lights when nobody's home.
Oh, top of the list.
Hear that?
Well, I'm not the only one. Come on, what about the laundry room? What about the bathroom? Everybody's guilty of leaving lights on unnecessarily. Who thinks about it?
Right, lights are the easiest thing to take for granted. You know, when the light is right, we don't notice where it's coming from or how much it's costing us, right?
But isn't it true that turning the lights off and on uses more energy than just leaving them on?
Not true. No, for all practical purposes, it takes no more energy to turn the lights off and on. And a light that's off for a minute is a minute of energy saved.
Hey, I didn't know that.
Neither did I.
Daylight is great light. Use it whenever possible. You'd be surprised how much light is available, even on cloudy days.
Yeah, that's okay for daytime hours, but what about nighttime?
Yes, I've heard one of the most common problems is improper reading light.
Oh, absolutely. Most people don't pay attention to the quality and strength of the light they read and work by. Too little light can tire your eyes and you squint trying to see. And too much light reflects brightly off the page and again you squint. Either way causes eye strain. So take some bulbs of different wattage and try them in your reading lamp until your eyes are comfortable. No squinting.
Or use a dimmer switch.
Oh, now that's a good idea.
Now, what about dimmer switches? Can they save us money?
Well, you can cut the wattage in a room in half and still have balanced light.
Hey, I didn't know that.
Oh, I did. I never turn dimmers up to full power. I just stop when the light seems right. Hey, I guess I've been saving all along without realizing it.
You mean we've been saving?
And once again, you made my point. It pays to decide how much light you really need for reading. If you don't have dimmers, three-way incandescent bulbs are another answer. Use the low light setting for subdued lighting, like for watching TV. The mid-range setting is for basic room illumination, and the high bright setting is for reading or other close work. By the way, the placement of lamps in a room is also very important.
That's what my decorator friend says.
Oh, a decorator would know. It's very important that the lighting design of a room not only makes it look attractive, but also balances the light for viewing comfort.
She says it should be possible to lower or even turn off lights not in use in a room. Like, if you want to read, there should be a reading light independent of other lights.
What does your decorator say about lampshades?
Oh, yes, there was some discussion about looking good but not restricting the light.
Exactly. There are many shade designs to choose from that are reasonably efficient transmitters of light. But you have to be careful if you can to avoid opaque or dense fabrics. Unless you're trying to get a special lighting effect or trying to create directional lighting.
Why is that?
Well, with a shade like that, you may have to use a 100-watt bulb just to get 50 watts of light.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Gee, I can't wait to get home and check our shades.
That's right.
Say, what's this all about? Energy savers, fluorescent tubes, energy-saving tubes.
Well, that means there are many different kinds of lighting devices available for achieving your energy conservation goals.
Like incandescent and fluorescent.
Right. Hey, did you know that fluorescent lamps put out about 4 times as much light as incandescent lamps do? And they last almost 20 times longer.
I didn't know that.
Sure, it says here a 34-watt fluorescent bulb provides more light than a 100-watt incandescent bulb at a fraction of the cost.
Cost of electricity, you mean? They've got to cost more than regular bulbs, right?
Right. And they're worth every penny because you have to buy many more incandescent bulbs in order to equal the overall life of a fluorescent.
Well, that's all well and good, but you can't expect us to buy all new lamp fixtures.
No.
They're not cheap.
You don't have to. There are replacement screw-in fluorescent bulbs, like these 2-part fluorescent tubes, and many other shapes designed to fit the sockets you already have. And they come in a range of wattage ratings as well. The point is, if you are replacing any of your lamps or fixtures, it would pay for you to first think of fluorescent lamps. But there are energy-saving incandescents as well.
Oh, really?
Well, here's a chart. If you ordinarily use a 75-watt bulb, try a 67-watt energy saver. 100 watts, try a 90. That's great.
And here's another tip. Bulbs get dusty and dirty, especially in the kitchen, and that cuts down on the light they emit. Just make sure they're cool before you wipe them clean.
Oh, I'd never have thought of that.
Another tip. Use a lamp with one large bulb rather than one with several smaller bulbs of lower wattage.
Why is that?
Well, believe it or not, you get more light out of one 100-watt bulb than you do out of 3 40-watt bulbs.
What?
I know it sounds strange, but you do. All right, how about security lights? Did you leave them on in the house in the morning so there would be light in the house when it gets dark?
Don't ask.
Well, we're doing fine there. We try to set our timers to turn the lights on a little after twilight and go off again a little after midnight.
Ah, right on. They're learning fast about how to save money. Energy efficient lighting, it's getting the right amount and the right quality of light where you need it, when you need it. And look for more efficient, lower wattage bulbs to accomplish that. But there's no better tip than the old standby. If there's nobody there, turn it off.
Hey, a refrigerator with a glass door. I love it.
If you ever saw him eat, you'd know why he loves it. Our refrigerator looks like a supermarket. Everything's jammed in there somewhere.
This one is so neat and orderly. There are so many compartments in our monster. It takes forever to find what I want.
I think you both came to the right place today. Let me give you this to think about. We've already said that an air conditioner can be the #1 user of electricity. What do you think is often the #2 and sometimes #1? Right. Your good old can't do without it refrigerator. Actually, over an entire year, your refrigerator can account for as much as 1/3 of your electric bill.
1/3? Really? I didn't know that.
I don't want to know that.
No need to panic. Most of the same things we covered over at the air conditioners applies to refrigerators as well.
Okay, how about size? How does the size factor affect refrigerators?
Same as matching an air conditioner to a particular room. The most economical refrigerator is the one that is just the right size for your family's needs. If a refrigerator's too big, you waste energy by cooling empty space. And if it's too small, you have to jam food in it, and the cold air can't circulate adequately to cool the contents inside. And that wastes money.
Okay, suppose we lucked out and chose the right size refrigerator. How can we save money?
There are lots of great tips you can put to work. Okay, look at this fancy model here. What does this tell you?
Well, just as you said, proper food storage is important. Don't overcrowd the refrigerator compartment. Keep space between each item so that the cold air can circulate freely.
There you go. You're saving money already.
What about the freezer compartment? I was going to say the same thing about the freezer compartment, but this one's jam-packed.
Right. Just the opposite for the freezer. Pack everything close together. If there's space, put in some bags of ice to take up the room.
Something else I didn't know.
I bet the next tip is about the door gaskets.
Right again. The gaskets seal the door and keep them shut with the help of built-in magnets. For an effective seal, the gasket should be clean. Use a soft, damp cloth and be sure to clean the gasket itself and the edge of the compartment as well. Cleaning will help keep the gasket supple and help make it last. You can make sure the seal is tight by placing a new dollar bill between the door and the compartment. Give it a tug. There should be a slight resistance. Now, continue the test all around the gasket. If there's any place that lets the dollar bill slip out easily, you need a new gasket.
While we're on the subject, I think maybe there's something you don't know about.
Great, try me.
Well, when you open the refrigerator door, you let out the cold air. The motor has to go on and make more cold air. That means you waste money. So, know exactly what you want to take out before you open the door. That's my tip.
You're absolutely correct. And something else that hardly anybody ever thinks about, cleaning the condenser coils.
Well, actually, ours are on the bottom.
Either way, once a year, clean the coils on your refrigerator just like the filter on your air conditioner. Vacuum the dust and dirt, wipe off any greasy residue. Also, check the vent of the air circulating fan. Make sure it's clean and clear.
Oh, but you forgot the most important thing, the temperature setting.
Ah, right you are. Thanks. Well, first of all, get yourself a thermometer to determine the right setting for both the refrigerator and the freezer. Check the recommended temperature for both compartments. If the instructions are long gone, try 38 to 40 degrees for the refrigerator and not more than 0 degrees for the freezer. The dial settings aren't always accurate and may need a little adjusting to get the temperature just right. All right, next topic. What about your refrigerator and vacation time?
Well, we've got 3 weeks coming. We're going camping. But what does that have to do with our refrigerator?
Well, do you leave the refrigerator on while you're away?
Oh, yeah, gotcha. I should turn it off, right?
If you're not home for a stretch of time, why waste money cooling a few scraps of food? Use up the food you have in the refrigerator and freezer and then unplug it. And be sure to clean both compartments and leave the door securely propped open. And that's about it. Well, folks, what do you think? Have we saved enough money today?
Yeah, I think so. Terrific, really.
Right.
And very helpful. Right, honey?
Well, you're very welcome, and thank you for visiting. Oh, hey, I promised you some tips on purchasing air conditioners and refrigerators.
Yeah.
Stick around. They'll be coming up in a minute or so. I'll see you then.
Sure.
Thanks again.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Well, I think our friends have had a very valuable day here today, and I hope you did too. You'll make a great start if you apply the energy conservation information we covered here today to your household. Now, speaking of energy-saving know-how, we have included a self-test that'll help you check your, well, your energy IQ. And now, as promised, here is some very important information on purchasing air conditioners and refrigerators. The previous sections of this presentation emphasized money-saving tips on the care, placement, and proper operation of air conditioners, light fixtures, and refrigerators. Now we'd like to offer you some helpful guidelines on purchasing those basic appliances. Modern refrigerators and air conditioners are much more energy efficient than those made years ago. Now, some models are more efficient than others. Buy the most efficient model in the proper size for your needs, and you'll save money on operating costs. And one place to start is with an understanding of the basic energy language. The label information found on every new refrigerator, water heater, washing machine, dryer, and air conditioner offered for sale. This yellow and black sticker, called the Energy Guide label, is your basic source of information. It contains a lot of information you'll need to know about the energy efficiency of the unit you're shopping for. The Federal Trade Commission requires that all new appliances display an Energy Guide label that tells you how the unit compares to the most energy efficient and the least, with the same volume or cooling ability. EER is the measure of how efficiently an air conditioner uses electricity. EER numbers range between 7 and 12. The higher the EER number on the unit, the more efficient it is. An EER of 12 is about as good as they can be. However, air conditioners with an EER of 9.0 or above are considered very efficient. The benefit? Well, the higher the EER, the less electricity is used for cooling, and the better chance you have to save a substantial amount of money over the operating life of the unit. And although you may have to pay more to buy a unit with a high EER, in the long run the investment will pay off, depending on how much you use it. Now, here's another set of letters you should become familiar with, the BTU, or British Thermal Unit. It's used only for air conditioners. Refrigerators are generally classified by their volume in cubic feet. BTU ratings on the Energy Guide label indicate the unit's cooling power measured in BTUs per hour. The BTU rating is based on a formula determining the power necessary for a unit to cool a certain size room. Now, if you shop in an appliance outlet and you can give the salesperson the dimensions of the room you want to cool, length, width, and ceiling height, and provide some information about the direction the room faces, the kind of daylight that enters, and whether the room is insulated, then the salesperson can zero in on the appropriate BTU capacity you'll need in a new unit. Obviously, there's more to buying an efficient air conditioner than price, a pretty package, and a lot of power. If you want to make your own calculations, use the chart we packed with the videotape and figure away. The point we really want to make is that when the time comes to purchase an air conditioner, you have to shop with some specific information in hand, not just cold cash. Same with buying a refrigerator. There are many things to look for, aside from the decorative value, that are important to the operating efficiency and overall economy of a refrigerator. You'll find the yellow and black Energy Guide label right on the front of all the units at your dealer's store. Now, like air conditioners, refrigerators differ considerably. Some are more efficient than others. The Energy Guide label compares the relative operating costs of models of the same size based on the national average energy costs. Okay, so what do we look for? Let's first consider size. This is easy. Base it on your household population. 1 or 2 of you, or a small tribe. Set your sights accordingly. As a general guideline, 1 or 2 people do just fine with a 12 cubic foot refrigerator. 3 to 4 people in a household, try 14 to 16 cubic feet. Now, for a bigger family, add 2 cubic feet per person. And oh, make sure you scale its outer dimensions to fit the available space, including the clearance recommended by the manufacturer to assure proper operation. And finally, think about the way the door or doors will swing when opened. You'll need them to open the way you want to allow easy access. All right, the key is if you buy a refrigerator too big for your needs, you waste energy and money by cooling empty space. And there you have it. We hope you enjoyed watching, and more important, that you found the tape valuable and learned some basics about energy efficiency and how to get the most from your energy budget all year long, here, there, and everywhere.